figuring out what's wrong with it.
Yeah,
Not everybody's on that side. You know, you were kind of like on the proactive side of the fence. Like, I'm going to figure out how this is going to work because I know it's going to work once I do figure it out.
Well, my experience with your team outside of Billy's been great. No, you know I love you, Billy. We got the saddle warmed up for you.
Talking about, I've been telling you a little bit more about just kind of building the brand and the essence of that. For anybody that's watching this, big announcement. I'm just going to drop it here if anybody's watching.
I'm watching.
All right, so guys, today we're doing an interview with our client, Dave Long, Jersey mortgage guy.
Yeah.
I'm Nick, CEO of Create by Influence. He's one of our long-term clients now. We've been working for a little bit over a year now, Dave?
A little bit over a year, yeah.
Awesome.
Year and a couple months.
Awesome. So, Dave is the Jersey mortgage guy. How he coined this name, he'll obviously tell you.
Obviously.
And, his big tagline is he creates buyers. So, Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, Jersey mortgage guy, it's funny. I bought the domain, I think, in 2012. 100 years ago, 3 companies ago. Like, I just thought it was a good idea to have a website.
Yeah.
And was working with a company that just really wouldn't let me do anything with it. So I just had it sitting since then, really, until you and I got together and you said, hey, do you have a website or do we need to get you one? And I had it. I said,
you just had it parked in the garage.
That was it.
Yeah.
And if you've ever tried to find a name for a website, you know how it is. You sit there in front of it for 100 years trying to find that perfect one.
You might save 20 different ideas and only maybe use one or none.
Well, that was the only one that was available. And then you get to it and I said, Jersey mortgage guy. Oh, it's available. Now do I want it? But yeah, so we've had it since then and finally starting to do something with it and building it out. Really, Jersey mortgage guy has become my branch.
Right.
For my mortgage. I work with AmRes, partnered with AmRes, but Jersey mortgage guy is my branch where we're driving leads into, specifically my guys to work those mortgages. So yeah, it's been going great.
Awesome, man. And I know when we first started working with you, I mean, you were working independently.
Yes.
You didn't really have a team, quote unquote, yet. I mean, you had some systems, you did some lead generation, you did your own marketing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the experience prior to working with us. Like, was it more difficult? Was it limited?
Yeah, you know what? And I'm finding out for me, it was I always had this idea in my head of what I thought, what I wanted my mortgage business to be, and just never. I realized I never put myself in the position to do that.
Yeah.
I was, working out as an outside rep for people or just different, always working for a company that, had their own idea of how you should do your mortgage business,
right.
And everybody's got their idea of what worked for them, but it never really clicked with me. So it's not that I didn't have success. I just never really felt like I was able to do everything I wanted to do. So once I started working with a smaller broker, really had a little bit more flexibility, and I started buying leads and seeing kind of the power of that and how that would work. But again, I didn't own it. I wasn't building anything. You're just buying leads and then they're coming through,
It's kind of just going through the motions.
It's fine at a point. But I didn't want to be just a sales rep.
Right.
I wanted to build something. And I can't do that just on my own. So you want leads coming in so you can work those leads personally and do those mortgages. That's awesome. It's a great system, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to own really a business.
Yeah.
So working with my company's been great because they've given me the flexibility to do anything I want. And then hooking up with you guys where, we've got the lead generation through the website, but not just that. The biggest thing, you can have 1,000 leads a day coming in, but if you don't have any way to organize them, make sure they're all getting processed correctly, and the end result is everybody's happy whether or not you can help them. They're still happy with what you've been able to provide them. Then that's what I was looking for, and that's what working with you guys has allowed me to do.
Yeah, man, that's an absolute pleasure to us. We
beating up your guys every day.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, it's cool when you work with people who are passionate about what they're doing, right? And it takes two to form a partnership, because our systems are only as complemental to what you kind of like the input you give us, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you were so involved on the process, on how you want this thing built, and kind of really being in the day-to-day process of figuring out what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Not everybody's on that side. You were kind of on the proactive side of the fence. I'm going to figure out how this is going to work because I know it's going to work once I do figure it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And my whole mindset going in was like, I'm doing this now through the eyes of a loan officer because ultimately my loan officers are going to be the ones doing this. And I need to understand the system so that when they come to me with a question and say, what happened here, or even better, this system is the greatest training tool I've ever had in my life.
That's awesome.
Where we've got the CRM where I'm watching live, where my loan officers are texting back and forth with people, and then I'm with them on Microsoft Teams or whatever it would be, and I'm watching their conversation, and they're texting me saying, "What am I supposed to say to this guy?" And I go, "Hey, how about this? How about that?"
So you're able to monitor everything in like a very
real time.
Yeah.
Someone makes a phone call, I can pull that phone call, listen to it, give them a little bit of feedback on it, this, that, or the other, whatever it could be. The next phone call, it's fixed, and not the next week when they think about bringing it up at our weekly get together. So it's immediate feedback. The loan officers love it because there's always a constant stream of leads coming in for them, and that real time, like it's a month. I could take someone brand new, doesn't know anything about the business. 2 months, they'd be a successful loan officer. It really is that. It's that the system works like that.
Repeat that again.
I'm telling you, someone brand new who's trainable. I'm looking right at you, Billy. No, I'm looking at your camera. You take someone brand new who's trainable. Within 2 months, we can have them bringing in deals as a successful loan officer.
Wow.
It's just because it's that simple. We've really narrowed this thing down to everything is step by step. What's next? What do you say? You just plug into the system and it's going to work for you. But then I don't want this system to just be a rote system for someone. Like once you have the words that are right to say, and and you're confident. And I don't care if you're 18 or you're 50. If you're confident that you know everything about mortgages, you know all the ins and outs of the programs and everything, it doesn't matter how old you are because you've got the knowledge that those people need. They're reaching out because they need mortgage.
Exactly.
So I think what we've done a good job of is giving loan officers the confidence in knowing exactly what is the next thing they should say.
Right.
How do you answer the questions? There's only like 10 questions that you ever get asked.
Yeah.
It doesn't take me a long time to teach you how to answer those questions.
Exactly. And then repetition, obviously.
And then you get the reps in. You're talking to 3, 4, 10 people a day. You're going to get those reps in and get comfortable. So that I found in the training process is what's so good about it is because it is organized into you start initial talking to a person and it goes all the way through closing a loan, and then follow up. Like the whole thing is just set up for you. My first guy I was training, he'd be in the system and he'd write me on the side and go, "What am I supposed to say now?" And I'd say, "You're at the closing part now, so you close now." But it just getting that feel for when to close and the proper closing techniques. You teach them like that as opposed to having to wait even years for them to develop that. It's a very quick process. So that's why it makes people successful quicker.
Love that.
I think. So.
Love that answer, Dave. That's really insightful.
So awesome is what it is, really.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's so many people that are in your industry that probably look at maybe what you're doing as just a lot of unknown territory.
Yeah.
Because I think digital marketing kind of has its own reputation. People are just so fixated towards different reasons why it won't work for them, as opposed to how it will work.
Yep.
What are some of those objections that you could maybe give to people to kind of overcome that are in your industry?
On the digital marketing side?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, the bottom line is no matter what business you're in, it's all about getting in front of people and telling them what you do, right?
Yeah.
Like finding people that need what you do. There's a million different ways you could do it.
Right.
My preferred way is the digital marketing because I like the consumer direct. People are reaching out because they need our service.
Exactly.
All we need to do is say, hey, we can or can't, or if we can't right now, let's build you into a buyer. Let's show you step by step your game plan from getting from where you are right now to buying a house.
Right. And do you feel like a lot of people leave money on the table in your industry because they don't? I mean, obviously they're not taking those steps, right? Like, what would be your advice to them? Like,
come work with us. I'm not kidding. Like, you go to, and I don't want to name companies. Every company just has their different model for what works for them, right? For what they're looking for. Some of the bigger companies. Well, we could use Wells Fargo, perfect example, because they actually got out of the mortgage industry.
Right.
Consumer direct, right? So they just had that name recognition, like we're building with you, right? But they had it already, so they didn't have to go have loan officers pounding the phone, dialing for dollars. They got people calling them.
Yeah.
So they were able to then say, we don't want all the business that's out there. We're very specific in the business, which meant higher credit scores. They're not going to do some of those, what people consider outside the box loans that are still inside the conventional or FHA or government backed box.
Right.
But most big companies won't do them. Like we have what are called no overlays. 580 credit score, FHA, down to a 500 if you have 10% down. Wells Fargo would never do that loan. So, but if you call Wells Fargo, they'll say, sorry, you can't buy a house. Like that.
But do you think it's misleading? Because then they might go with the mindset thinking they just can't buy in general, or
it's.
I mean, I guess it's distasteful for someone that maybe is a first-time home buyer, you think?
It's, I think it's, what's the word I would find? I don't think it's a nefarious type thing. I think a lot of loan officers don't actually know. Like when I first started, I was working at a big company, same way, and we had a lot of overlays. And I didn't know that there were companies out there that didn't. I was just told we can't go below 640. Okay. Yeah. 640 is it. If you don't have a 640, I don't know how you're going to get a loan. Right. Because if we can't do it and we're huge, who would? Right. Yeah. We find out a lot of people will. Yeah. So I think that the question was, are a lot of people leaving a lot of money on the table? We just had a sales meeting in our company that talked specifically about this. Absolutely. Right. Okay. Because finding that borrower with a 600 credit score that's got maybe some work to do on their credit or maybe some savings, but most people know whether or not they can buy a house. If you can afford rent, you can probably buy a house eventually, right? You just need to get your credit fixed, get your savings in order, all that stuff. If you've got a 600 credit score and $5,000 in the bank, I can make you a buyer in 6 months, right? Okay. Let's just make sure that all of our goals are aligned. Yeah. I mean, I closed a loan at 539 credit score, 10% down, FHA loan, no problem. Right. No problem. Right? Who's going to do that loan out there right now?
Right. So, I mean, that makes you kind of like a market disruptor in itself, just
because we'll do the things that
you're solving real problems in the industry, in the market right now, because it's a challenging time to even be a home buyer.
Well, it really is, and like the amount of people that we've got to talk to every day that are in these positions where we can do these loans all day that other companies just aren't even willing to look at. Right. They just don't want that level of business because they have enough coming in, even with how. The downturn in the market and the mortgage market, rates came up, no inventory for sale. We still have a lot of people looking, and when we're building these buyers, turning it back out there, we're doing that these other companies just aren't doing. So we're providing leads to realtors they're out looking for business too. Yeah. And we're calling them saying, hey, I got a buyer here. Would you mind taking care of this person?
So you're literally handing buyer leads to your real estate partners.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I mean, in the industry you're in, I mean, do you feel like that's something you like? Is that something that's kind of like you see often?
No, no, not at all. Yeah. I mean, I've always heard that you want to be a successful mortgage guy, you form relationships with real estate agents and with financial planners, CPAs. All great ideas, perfect ideas. Yeah. I always thought, why can't I find a way to bring in the business myself, and then be the guy to hand that out, right? Like, I want to be able to help you make more money. You're a real estate agent. Let's work together. Working with me, you should double your income. I shouldn't be begging you for deals, waiting for you to go find someone. So it's almost why can't I go find someone?
You're bringing the value to them, but ultimately it's a home run because you're able to do the trade-off.
Exactly. And we have these buyers, and we just need the realtors to service them. So it's a great win-win for us, and we're developing a lot of partnerships with real estate agents and real estate branches. Because they like us giving them leads.
I love that. So Dave, I mean, like with that whole transition, I mean, how much would you say that's influenced the growth of your business, I guess, in the last year?
It's really been all of it. Yeah. I mean, I went from, I still have obviously an old client base, and I get a lot of referrals, but my main focus is on getting, getting the lead system that we have and developing the generating through the SEO that we're doing with you guys. That's my focus, and I'm looking at what I'm closing. That's what everything I'm closing is coming from, because
so it's a lot of new people.
A lot of new people every single day coming in every single day. We have really as many as we want.
That's amazing, man. Because I feel like we're at a time where I feel if more people knew about having what you have, it would kind of like make a light bulb go off in their head, like why am I not looking at this different avenue or approach?
And I think a lot of it is a little bit of a short-term mentality where it's you're trying to get deal to deal to deal instead of saying focus on how much you want this year.
Yeah, long game. I mean, not the instant, the delayed gratification, basically. Right. Yep. Like put in the work now, knowing in 6-9 months you're going to be reaping a lot of reward from it.
Exactly, because we've got people that you know, we call it work in the plan. We put them in our work in the plan campaign where, hey, you know, you've got to get to say 25,000 saved and get your credit score up to a 620, and then we'll be able to work with you.
Yeah.
You got your plan. We'll follow up with you every month, see if you need everything, and we're always available. Give us a call. We have our text stream set up so that it's a constant.
And they get touched how often?
Once a month.
Once a month. There you go.
Yeah, once a month for work in the plant people, or unless they're, you know, unless they have a question, then we're there for them. We're just one text away. It's a great system that you've helped me set up.
Hey, man. Awesome. I do have some questions on my phone that they're in my notes. I just want to kind of pull through them, see what's a good thing to ask you here. Let's see.
See that right there, Nick?
What's up?
It's my one of my LOs just started talking to a girl this morning, back and forth. Her loan application just came in with her W-2 and pay stubs this morning. Like that's just how the system works.
Yeah, love that, man. Okay, here's one. Can you provide a specific example of a successful campaign or initiative we have executed for you that had a significant impact on your pipeline growth? Yeah,
let me think of the best one. That's a broad question. That's a really broad question.
I mean, let's see.
No, that's fine. Yeah. It's. I think the biggest thing that you guys have been able to help me do is organize.
Okay.
Because I've had leads come in from other sources in the past where, even on a similar platform to what we're kind of working off of right now, it just wasn't put together the same way.
Right.
So a lot of leads coming in would slip through the cracks, or, you know, my mindset wasn't where it needed to be, where I wasn't seeing the deals that are there all the time. So getting that, I think the biggest thing that you guys have made me realize is what this system is, which is the best training tool I have for new loan officers or branch managers coming in. And then once they're in, for them to completely organize their business, manage their lead flow, and be in charge and in control of how much business they close. I mean, that's really the big picture of what you guys have been able to do for me.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Thank
me too.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's see here. Can you discuss any challenges or obstacles we face together and how we were able to overcome them to maintain progress towards your goals?
Yeah, like every day is a challenge, I think, man. So, I mean, we get up, Google suspends my account all of a sudden. Twice it's happened now, right?
Yeah,
is that your fault? No. Is it my fault? No. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I know that it's being worked on right now. If I need to do anything, I'll get it done, and we'll get through it. I mean, it's just that's what I like. I don't expect everything to be perfect because it never will be, but I do know that whatever pops up, me, you, and your team are going to handle it.
Exactly.
So I have no, I don't have to sit up at night going, oh my God, my Google account's down. Okay, we'll get it fixed, right?
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're still rolling. I still got 2,000 leads rolling around our system that our guys can be working.
2,000 leads.
Yeah, at least that. So
that's awesome.
We're So does that answer your question?
Absolutely, man. No, that was good. I mean, you answered most of my questions here, actually, just from a normal conversation.
Yeah.
I'll throw this one at you. I mean, how would you describe your overall experience with our team, and how do you see our partnership evolving in the future?
Well, my experience with your team outside of Billy's been great. No, you know I love you, Billy. We got that saddle warmed up for you. No, I even see where your team fits into my long-term play down the road when we're opening up branches down in Florida, or, California, or wherever that we're looking at right now. What you guys provide is the confidence for me to go scale anywhere and know that my system can handle. I can bring on 10 branches tomorrow and we'll be able to handle that. I know that for a fact.
That's awesome, man. That makes me feel really good just because, we've spent so much tireless hours just trying to build the infrastructure to bring that type of value to a client, especially in the real estate space, because that's always been the backbone of our company. We found our success in real estate. We tried different niches and verticals, branched out a little bit too much.
You got to try, though, right?
Only to figure it out, right? Only to come back to our base, which is, guys like you that are winning, that are executing, that, work in a partnership, and don't put, it's a mutual thing here. It's like we both have to help each other grow at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like I mean, you got your team, I've got my team, but I feel like we're a team. Like
Absolutely.
you and I aren't like it's not working together. Like we are working together, but not CBI and Jersey Mortgage Guy. It's like we both know what we want out of what I'm doing, and you've got your other partnerships too. But man, like your team fits seamlessly in with what we're doing. It couldn't be easier, really.
That means a lot, man.
Like I'm constantly like, really, you're going to do that too?
Yeah, I didn't want to.
That's cool.
I do want to drop a seed for you. You know, just talking about. You know, I've been telling you a little bit more about just kind of building the brand and the essence of that. You know, for anybody that's watching this, big announcement. I'm just going to drop it here. If anybody's watching,
I'm watching.
CBI is going to be acquiring an in-house office space.
Nice.
In the next couple months, and we're going to have. Basically more of a in-house infrastructure for some things where we have the hybrid environment now because we all work fully remote.
Yeah.
You know, we come out, we meet with our clients, we consult in person, we have the in-person aspect. But now we're going to take that to the next level. We're also going to provide an in-house studio to give our clients a little bit of a level up. You know, like
what's the matter? You don't like my plants in the back?
I love them, man. I love them. But really, it's just, you know, we realize how the value of in-person has transformed our business.
Yeah.
So we want to give a piece of that, you know, to the clients that we've been working with and future clients, you know, because, you know, you don't always get to feel that creative atmosphere over a Zoom or a virtual setting.
Absolutely.
Imagine walking in somewhere in person where you see and feel how we operate. That's the thing we want to bring, you know, to the local clients that we do have.
I mean, you guys have done a good job because everything's remote, which was perfect during COVID. You guys were able to, that's when we started during that whole, you know, no one was leaving their house thing. And we were still able to make it work. But, I mean, adding that level, I think is going to be awesome.
Yeah, man.
Be cool.
It's a big jump for us, you know, but it's just like...
Where's the space you're going to get?
It's going to be in Williamstown.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's got we're going to finish out the basement, turn that into an in-house studio so we can do, like,
perfect.
Photo shoots, you know, headshots, in-house production with the green screen.
I need a new headshot.
You know, because the thing about it, like, you know, we do a lot of things with the website end, right? And it's like... A lot of companies will have to outsource stock imagery and, you know, you have to depend on whatever professional images the client can provide.
Yeah.
We want to be able to control that process and give them an experience they've never had before.
Cool.
Because we're trying to cultivate, like, high-end products, you know, when it comes to websites, to marketing, to ad creatives. Like, we want to bring them an experience that you can't compare it.
Yeah. I tell you, like, everybody that has looked at my website you guys have developed for me is... it's blown away, like you know, and we've upgraded it since we've started. Which, I mean, but it's on par with any top company out there right now. Like I'll put my website against any company right now, and ours is as good or better.
It's awesome.
So
it's awesome.
That's right, Billy. I said it.
Love it, man. Well, Dave, are there any last words you want to give to our audience or yours?
Yeah. Well, for your audience, I would just say, like. If you need to get to the next level, like I knew I was at a point where I needed to get, it's almost a crossroads you come to, right? Like I know what I'm doing is not getting me where I need to go, right? So I can either double down on how much I'm working, which I couldn't do. I didn't have that many hours in the day. Or you can partner with somebody that can take care of the stuff that you don't even know you're supposed to be doing. And that's what I decided to do when I hit that point, and I couldn't be happier. So if you're at that point, then do it because you know you need to, and you're not going to grow without doing it. Yeah. So, and for our audience, I would say, you know, first of all, we're recruiting, we're expanding right now, looking to build on what, you know, your team and I have put together. And we're a great mortgage company, and we're looking for great loan officers, and we'll turn you into one if you're not. So give us a call.
It's awesome. Those are all facts, guys. You know, we want to make this content, make it as real as possible. I just want to thank you for taking the time to have us here today, and let's continue to grow.
Let's do it. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right.